Greetings everyone, I am Jackie Gates, I'm also known as the Goddess. I have something to share with you today. I've had a secret. My whole career, my whole stepping into the limelight on Facebook and YouTube and such, has been because I shared something that quite a few people told me not to. In other words, when I was quitting everything, when I stopped doing everything everybody else was doing, some people told me not to because it showed weakness, so to speak. There's a dilemma between showing weakness and showing your strength that you gain from that weakness. The strength and the new positioning that you get from having conquered whatever it was that knocked you to your knees. That's what I found when I shared the Great Quitting. That's what I found when each time that I've shared something that's been a little cringy, a little bit awkward, a little bit, I don't know what people will think. Those are the ones that have given not only me the biggest growth, but every goddess that's called me afterwards and said, thank you for sharing that. It's something that I've been wrestling with. So here's my new one. Most of you know that I used to work for Starbucks, right? I was with Barnes & Noble in the cafe for quite a while, and then I worked for Starbucks for $7 an hour. One of my biggest, most viewed videos and reports on my blog is how I became a goddess working for Starbucks for $7 an hour. I decided after 8 years in retail that I would give myself last Christmas off. It was a huge thing. I visualized it. I was going to resign on my birthday, and my birthday was the very last day that I'd work at Starbucks. And it happened that way. I did my whole shift in a tiara, and it was the 8th of October. I had an absolute ball, and everything manifested just as I'd visualized. I had my own business. Things were starting to pick up. I was working with my mentor, and there was all this flow, and it was fabulous. So Christmas came and went, all the busyness and whatnot, and I started working at home online myself. Now in our household, we only have my son and my husband, both of whom work online all the time. So I would spend 8 hours or so at my desk in my very pretty office online. Now at this point, I didn't have many coaching clients. In fact, I just had one at the time. So I could go for a whole day without really seeing anybody besides immediate family members. And most of the time, they're busy at their computers anyway. What happened was I started to realize that I am such a social being that I can't bear being on my own in an office all day. As much as Skype is wonderful and on the phone is wonderful, I crave face-to-face energy. There's something about being in the same space as another goddess while we're talking that you just can't have it happen on Skype. It didn't feed me the way it did before. I started to go a little stir-crazy. And I found myself at the mall, not to buy anything, but just to be where the people are. And then one day, I was walking past Victoria's Secret, and one of my regulars from Starbucks said, she's the manager there, she said, what are you doing? And I said, I just came for people company. I am so stir-crazy sitting in the office all by myself that I just have to come and talk to somebody. And she said, well, if you're coming to the mall, why don't you work for me? I went, I really don't want to work retail anymore. She said, a day a week, it'll be fun. And you know what? It is fun. So that's my huge confession, is that I've been working retail. I'm back in retail. Yes, I only do 2 days a week. But I am having the best time. And you know why? Well, firstly, could you think of anything more goddessy than Victoria's Secret? I have the best working environment. There's just such a lot of pretty things around, right? But what I found is, not only am I talking to people, these women come in and I can make them feel better. I can impact their day, and in fact I can impact the rest of their lives. This is not an exaggeration, ladies. The right bra can make you feel fabulous. And it's not just that. It's like when I used to work in the wardrobe at the theatre. I used to have somebody come in who was fairly plain and she'd be in jeans and a t-shirt. And I could put her into an outfit and she'd turn into a star. Or she'd turn into this glamour goddess. And she would see herself in a whole new light. And that's what I'm finding working at Victoria's Secret. The other thing that I want to tell you is that I've also become super aware of how many marketers out there say that having a job is somehow less than being an entrepreneur. And I will tell you that working retail is one of the toughest things that you can do. Firstly, because there is that awareness that just because you're dressed all in black and you're serving somebody, that you are somehow lower than them. It seems to give people permission somehow to be extremely rude. It makes me understand just how huge a leap it is to go from being an employee during the day to being an entrepreneur at night. I've discovered a whole group of women who need my help with this. I would never have found it if I hadn't gone back to retail. Now, what I'm finding is that the more I become a coach, the more I'm growing in my entrepreneurship, the less time I have to go and work at Victoria's Secret. The less time I have that I can let them dictate my schedule. But for the moment, I'm having an absolute blast. And I am more in touch with my mission, with what it is that makes my heart sing, which is letting women see a way that they can live on their own terms, that they can do the things that make their hearts melt, that they can do the things that they feel add to the world. That special, unique message that you have shouldn't be confined behind a retail uniform. It's a big jump between working retail and being an entrepreneur. The employee versus the entrepreneurial mindset, they are so very, very different. And I'm finding that I can see that pattern. And there are more and more women that I'm coming into contact with that I'm helping across that path. So, they say, your mess becomes your message. Initially, I kept my whole going back to retail, a secret because it looked like I had gone backwards, right? I was so excited about working for myself and so excited about my coaching career and all the stuff I was doing on Facebook and YouTube and this kind of thing, that it somehow seemed inauthentic. But you know what? It is so much a part of me that there's no way it could be inauthentic. I am a people person. I'm meant to be where the people are. And until I get so many people that I'm talking to in speaking engagements, or I have so many clients that I can talk to on a daily basis, or I am running webinars with hundreds of people in there, I need the fix of talking face-to-face with people, talking face-to-face with women. And having landed back here, I found my women. I found the women that I have something to share with. So, darlings, if you're employed and you're seeing this, make sure you're on my list, because I am the perfect person to talk to. Seriously. And I have so much planned because of the goddesses that I've met in retail. I have things that they've asked for, and I've created programs. I am creating programs to answer those questions. It's unbelievably exciting. And one last thing. When you're out shopping next time, be nice to the person behind the counter. You don't know what their dreams are, and you don't know what they might become. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Talk to you soon.